We need to start. You don't need
So
7 years to stop people from stealing public money.
Let's get to the brass tack then. So if you say that you're
4
happy
years.
to do 4 years, what do you think you can achieve in 4 years? Just give me maybe 3 or 5 or even 2 things that you want to focus on, because there's a pastor. Yes, go on. Just
in
a
6
handful of things.
A leader can get the country to a state where people follow the rules.
Let me help you set the template very quickly.
The biggest contributor of the Western world GDP today is law and order. Nothing stops a government from day one to say, I'm going to obey court orders. Courts, you must give fair judgment. Courts, you must do this. Things must be done properly. I will not be in government, and one opposition party will be having problem. From day one, I'm going to tell INEC, elections must be free and fair. All elections I've participated in, go and ask anybody. I have never even saw anybody 1 naira to legal election for me. That you can do. Yeah, I did it. Just I did it in my second term. It was free and fair. So we can there's things you can do. Let's have order. Your INEC, regulate all the parties. If you know what the law says, you cannot be involved in their internal affairs, do it. Nothing stops the president from, we have a crisis, invite the opposition leaders, let's sit down and talk about our country. It must not be a war.
So that makes it 2 points you've just mentioned.
I can go on.
Yes,
there's so many of them you can do.
There are 2 points. Let me just help you summarize.
Nothing stops the president from...
number one is you help to sort out judiciary, you help to sort out the election system.
Insecurity, head on.
Okay, so insecurity comes first.
There's no reason why a president of Nigeria can stay in Abuja and 200 people die in Jos or in Niger or in Benue, and you're still sitting here.
So what would you do? What would you do differently? The president from Buhari's era to the Tinubu's era, all the chiefs and service chiefs have been asked to go to the theaters of war, we have not seen any difference. What would you do differently? You ask them to move the entire army to Borno State or to Benue or to Plateau. Where would you ask them to go?
Let me tell you, first and foremost, I'll talk all the states. Within 2 years of being president of Nigeria, I will go to visit every state of Nigeria.
And that visit will translate to what?
What are you saying?
No, what would it translate to? I have been to several of the states. What would it translate to? What will be the benefit? I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking for the answers.
Because if I go there, I will know exactly what is happening.
Okay.
If you tell me things that are wrong in Zamfara, I want to call the elders there and we'll talk about how we're going to solve it. What are we going to do differently?
So when you revive
agriculture in its trueness. Not what we're doing now.
But how do you revive agriculture when insecurity is still affecting them? I'm just coming back from Jos a few days ago.
You deal with insecurity. There's no way a non-state actor can be more or take over the state.
What will your presidency do?
I will not tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not telling you what I'm going to do. I've dealt with insecurity in Anambra State. Small. And people will tell you. Just go there. When I came to Anambra State,
will you negotiate with the bandits? Because some state governments
don't worry what I'm
going
to do. I didn't negotiate with anybody. I didn't negotiate with anybody. But security is not what you say in public. But I'll deal with it decisively.
Okay.
We cannot share a state, a country, with non-state actors.
Okay.
Something is wrong. One must give in.
So what is the timeline if you...
I won't put a timeline to it, but people will see it. People will feel it. You see, governance is not what you put timeline.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you.
I love projects.
No,
I've
no,
been a project
no,
manager
no,
for
no,
many
no.
years of my
I'm
life.
not
I love
building.
projects. You
No,
have to
no,
see
I'm not
this
building
as a
roads.
project.
No, no. When people come and say, I'm going to build this road in 1 year, no. People saw it when I was in Anambra State. I dealt with it decisively. They felt it. They see it.
Yeah, but you're
So,
going to have only 4 years, so you can't say
4
you
years
don't
is
know
too
how
long.
long it will. Yeah, so okay, so 4 years is too long. So
Too
how
long.
many years are you looking to spend to resolve the
To
issue
deal
of
with issue of
insecurity?
insecurity. No, it's not timeline.
Or it would be 4
It
years.
doesn't
Is
have
that 4
timeline.
years? It might
All I
happen in
can
a
tell you
year, in
is,
4 years.
Kaede, I've dealt with insecurity.
Okay.
I've dealt with all these things. And it's very easy. It's not rocket. It's tough. It's difficult. But if you're determined, you deliver it.
Okay, so on the issue of health.
Same thing. Kaede, as a person, I've visited, even in this Abuja, I've visited so many primary health care. Can they go and ask people when I was governor? I visited every secondary school, over 500 of them. I visited the facilities. It's simple. If I have opportunity, we cannot say we are budgeting billions of naira for primary health care, and over 85%, we have about 8,300, and over 80% are not functional. God, I'll be visiting them. I'm visiting them today that I'm not anybody. So imagine what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to see them work. I'll visit them. That's what I say. He said, what will I do if there's a difference that I said today. I want to go to University of Jos, for example. See where the children are living and going to school. I used to go to secondary school, visit their dormitory, go to their kitchen, go to where they eat, go to where they run the shower, go to their toilet. Because I want to fix it. I have an Almajiri school in Kaduna that I had to do borehole. I had an Almajiri school, did borehole, did their toilet. I went to look at where the children go. And I said, no, that's it. In Sokoto, I was at there, somewhere in Sokoto, somebody said to me, we are students of Faculty of Agriculture. Our biggest problem is that we need a borehole in our farm in this thing. I went to University of Sokoto to do that. Nobody. Then I'll go there and see where they are. Okay. By visiting, inspecting it, you know what to do. That's how it happens. When you go to theater of war or where there's issue, you know how to contribute. But if you stay in the comfort of this thing and be sending people, you don't know. Go and ask them in Anambra State, in places where they told me there's a killing, there's criminal issue, I visited physically.
So in 4 years, you will sort out insecurity. In 4 years, you will sort out education. In 4 years, you will sort out agriculture.
Remember what I said?
In 4 years, you will sort out health.
Okay, no.
What
I
would
said
you,
in 4 years, people would have seen a measurable improvement towards solving all these problems. Today, we have a Bank of Agriculture that is come up. So learning in Kaduna. All our programs, whether it's anchor program, whether it's also, are all dead. They are not producing anything. Kind of recently.
So what would be your
let me tell you recently.
Yes.
The government of today donated trucks of rice to the people of the north. Trucks of rice. They did it in Niger, in Bida.
You personally saw this, or
No,
somebody
it
sent
was
you
announced.
video?
I saw it in the paper.
Okay.
I didn't see it personally. I must tell you. But there is in Bida. In Niger State, you can go and Google, is where we have Institute for Rice Production. Kaide, India have moved from importer of rice, as huge as they are, to now the number one producer of rice. They've overtaken China. They now produce about 150 something thousand tons of their rice. India. Bangladesh have moved from importer of rice to third producer of rice. They now produce about 60 million tons. So India is 152 million tons. Bangladesh now about 60 million tons of rice. The entire Bangladesh is 148,000, about 148,000 square kilometers. It's a very dense country and they have over 160 million people living in this tiny place. Yet, they produce 60 million tons of rice. Nigeria barely produce 10% of that quantity of rice. Yet, our two biggest states, Niger at 76.3, Borno at 70.8 put together, is size of Bangladesh. And their population of the two of them is about 10% of Bangladesh. So they have more space to produce rice. There's something wrong here. You need to fix it very fast.
Okay.
And I'll be decisive.
We'll talk about the solution on how to fix it. As the road to 2027 begins to take shape, the real question is no longer who's running, but what they truly stand for. We'll take another break. When we return, we'll be looking at beyond politics, vision, legacy, and the promise of a new Nigeria. Just stay with us.
Across Nigeria,